as they come together to present this event. We welcome our esteemed senior professors and all the respected participants joining us from across the globe this evening. Our topic for this yoga session is the philosophy of universal magnetism. I won't take much time of your time, but let us touch the essence in a simple way, in Maharishi's own beautiful way. Maharishi says that when tiny energy particles spin, they create spreading waves. These waves finally dissolve into the static state, and from that, magnetism is born. This magnetism doesn't stay in one place, it spreads everywhere, filling the entire universe. I'm so sorry, some technical glitches we are facing. Sorry for the inconvenience made. Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Some network glitches are, we are facing that. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm receiving message. Thank you so much. Yes. Maharishi says that when tiny energy particles spin, they create spreading waves. These waves finally dissolve into the static state, and from that, magnetism is born. This magnetism doesn't stay in one place, it spreads everywhere, filling the entire universe. It is just like an ice cube. When it melts in water, its coolness spreads all through. In the same way, magnetism flows across the cosmos. Maharishi calls this universal magnetism an invisible field that connects space, energy, life, and mind. Interestingly, he explains about shadow wave particle or yogan. These transform first into magnetism, then into sound, light, taste, smell in animate beings, and into mind in living beings. In other words, everything we sense, feel, and even think is supported by this universal magnetism. So, in simple words, magnetism and meditation. Magnetism is like a Wi-Fi of the cosmos, always available, unlimited range. Password is meditation, Vedatriyam. When we practice yoga and meditation, what we are really doing is tuning ourselves into the great cosmic network, aligning our little inner antenna with the universal field. It is my privilege to introduce our distinguished speaker for today, Mr. Tyagarajan Muthu, Ayya Avargal. He holds a mechanical engineering degree from Coimbatore Institute of Technology and has over 26 years of diverse experience in academics, quality management, and IT consulting. He began his career as a lecturer at Al Amin Institute of Technology, where he served for 5 years. He then moved into the incorporate sector, working as a quality management consultant and project manager at Wipro Limited, Bangalore, for another 5 years. Currently, he serves as a senior IT SAP functional consultant in the IT department of Rabi Refining and Petrochemical Company, Saudi Arabia, where he has contributed for the past 18 years. Over the course of his career, he has successfully implemented 30 plus ERP implementation and process automation projects. His professional certification include SAP Solution Manager, ITIL Service Management, and ISO 2000 Lead Auditor. He has also upskilled himself in areas like emotional intelligence, critical thinking in ChatGPT era, and deductive reasoning and mental models. Apart from his professional journey, Mr. Tyagarajan Ayya has been deeply connected with Manavallakala Yoga since 1992. When he received his Diksha, he has completed Prapanyanam in 2024, Jain DYHE in Dubai, and is an active of supporting the research activities of the team. Such a rich blend of technical expertise, leadership, and spiritual grounding. We are fortunate to have him here today to share his insights on the philosophy of universal magnetism. வாழ்க வளமுடன் ஐயா. Over to you.
வாழ்க வளமுடன் அம்மா.
இதுல பின்னாடி
Am I audible?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
We can hear you. Yeah.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, please.
No.
No, we can see.
We are not. We can't see the screen now.
No, we can see the screen, ma.
Screen. We are not able to see.
No, I can see the screen. You can go to the main page, no? Viveji, you can see the screen.
Okay.
Is everybody able to see the screen? Yeah, but I can see the screen.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll check with others.
Yeah.
Yeah, able to see the screen. Yeah.
Yes, ma, we are able
visible.
to see.
Yes.
Yeah, introduction
Okay.
to gravity
Thank
and all
you.
that. Yes, yes.
Fine.
Okay. வாழ்க வையகம், வாழ்க வையகம், வாழ்க வளமுடன். Am I audible also? My voice is
Yes,
okay?
please. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, please. Yeah.
வாழ்க வையகம், வாழ்க வையகம், வாழ்க வளமுடன். குரு வாழ்க, குருவே துணை. Good evening to all. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Janagiraman Ayya and other staff members of Aliyar and Arivil Arangam team. So today's session, I will directly go to the session now. So today's session, I'm going to cover some insights on universal magnetism with reference to the book Gravity of Gravity by Maharishi. So we will talk about introduction to gravity, transformation of gravity, magnetism and tanmatras, human connection to cosmology, consciousness as a universal regulator, human responsibility and enlightenment. So before we jump into the philosophy, just I would like to highlight. So there are 3 stages in the progress of human knowledge. So knowledge for survival, enlightenment of consciousness, revelation of truth. So knowledge for survival can come through cultural education by family and society. Enlightenment of consciousness through exposition about truth and consciousness by teaching of spiritual masters. So we get from other spiritual masters. Revelation of truth in personal experience of truth by revelation through the practice of inner travel. So before we jump into the philosophy of magnetism, just I would like to, because everybody is fresh now, so I will give you more dose and then we will go to the individual processes. So I would like to show you the process flow. so that we will follow in the remaining slides. So I just put the flow of the unified force, the eternal space, Almighty, God, omnipresent, omniscience. Just try to put a flow chart. So the first step, due to the unified force, self-compressive surrounding pressure force, formative dusts are formed, emerged. And then from there, infinitesimal association of the formative dust become infinitesimal energy particle. And these, you can see the third step are connecting third step, which is the universal magnetism. So when the formative dust starts or emerges, it starts spinning. Because of that spinning, it gives the repulsive force. Similarly, the association of energy particles, the formative dust particles, gives out the emerging, the waves, which is the magnetism. So that forms the universal magnetism. So everywhere the universe is filled with the magnetism field. So that is the first hidden state. So this is called, in Tamil, it is called Maraiporul. So these three are called hidden state of the universe. Then in science, we call the quantum state, where there are a lot of researches going on to find out the virtual exactic particles and subatomic particles. And then we know, as we know, the electrons, protons, and neutrons. Then from there, the physical state of the universe transformation happens into elements, molecules, and then amino acids, and then microbes, so bioforms. And then it will become, it becomes plants, animals, etc., and then up to human being. So this is the simple flow. And wherever you can see, the universal magnetism is connected to everything, everywhere. And when it comes to life forms, it becomes biomagnetism. And it gives 5 senses to non-human life forms. When it comes to human, that is the maximum or highest level of senses, which is the mind it gives. And within the life forms, you can see cognition, experience, and discrimination as a characteristic or quality comes into picture. But as a whole universe, you see everything is working in pattern, precision, regularity. So this is just a highlight. We will go through one by one in the coming slides. Okay. In your right side, I have given one picture of a proton. So when we see a simple explanation, we will see, okay, an atom consists of electron, and then inside a nucleus which contains proton and neutron. But science going beyond that to analyze what is inside the proton. So when you see inside the proton, there are 3 quarks. Okay. Not only that, there are the materials which are called gluons. So what is the speciality in this? These 3 quarks making the proton, which has very tiny mass when it compares to the whole mass of the proton. So that means what else is there? So there are different layers. There is a core, there is a electric charge region, there is a scalar gluonic cloud, and then it's also a spinning. You can see by the direction, it has lot of spinning quarks. And when the quarks are becoming stable only, we are seeing 3 quarks. But before that, there are lot of particles spinning, coming into existence, and then disappearing. So that whole system
We can't hear you.
of the proton. Just proton, there are a lot of things which then when electron joins together, what Maharishi stated. Aya, you are not able to hear?
No, okay, no, okay. Okay, go ahead now.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So let us just compare a quick comparison of, because everybody knows what is fusion, right? Nuclear fusion. We have a lot of nuclear power plants. There are a lot of researches happening on the fusion side, because this is very sustainable energy, natural energy. So every country is doing a lot of researches. Okay. Just for a comparison of the mightiness of omnipotent eternal space, to understand or to imagine how big, I just try to compare what is happening in the cosmic fusion and what is happening in a man-made reactors. Okay. So if you take the energy output, it is 384.6 yoto watts. So yoto watts means the number into 10 to the power of 26 watts. So that much energy it creates. When you compare the man-made reactors, you can see it is 500 megawatts or more. So you can imagine, to make 500 megawatts, how much effort we need to put, how much time, how much money, how much labor, and then how much security we need to use to create a 500 megawatt reactor. But it is happening automatically in the space without anybody intervening or anybody pushing it or anybody creating it. It happens automatically. So this one example, you can imagine the mighty, omnipotent, eternal space. This is the mightiest one, right? So fuel type. So these are some examples I gave. So fuel type, what is happening there? There is a fusion happens in the hydrogen, helium, and other heavy elements in the massive stars. This is what happening there. In man-made reactors, we are using tritium, deuterium, so these kind of radiation materials. Conditions required. What kind of condition is required in cosmic fusion? There is no condition, because the nature makes it, right? So core temperature is millions of degrees of immense gravitational pressure. But here it is 100 million degree, and it is only because of the magnetic inertia confinement. So they need to put it in a confinement so that that kind of energy or that kind of heat they can generate. Extremely high over billions of years, self-sustaining due to gravity and mass in terms of the efficiency. But here it is very low. Net energy gain not yet achieved consistently. So there are researches going on, but it is not consistent. Duration, it is continuous over billions of years. Billions of years. Here it is a very limited, short time, short bursts, experimental cycles. Natural gravitational confinement, because gravity is everywhere, right? So it is natural. But here, using magnetic fields like tokamaks. So recent researchers, there are a lot of researchers on tokamak energy production units, laser compression, stellarators. These are some of the tools or the machines they are trying to use. What are the byproducts of this fusion? Light, heat, neutrinos, and heavier elements. So these are the byproduct of that fusion. Whenever the fusion happens, these are emitted, and by looking at the scientific researches, we can see, or we are looking at many pictures from space researchers. So you can see light, heat, neutrinos, and other heavier elements are the byproducts. But here also there are some neutrinos, helium, radiations, minimal long-lived radioactive waste. So these are the byproducts from the factory fusion. Purpose. what is the purpose of this? This is the main purpose of driving the stellar revolution and element formation. So the Panchabhutas, how it gets formed. So this is the purpose. So here, the in human-made reactors, it is for the sustainable energy source. Okay, without making carbon emission and other waste. So they are trying to use this for sustainable energy sources. So from where we are studying this, so we are not inventing something. We are just trying to see the space, what happens, and then try to learn something and try to imitate. Okay, technological status fully natural, well understood through astrophysics. So by astrophysics, by cosmology, we are learning which is happening naturally outer in the space. But here it is very primitive, you can say, under development, not yet commercially viable. So why I gave these two pictures in the beginning, so that to set the mood of what we are going to discuss. The divide between the philosophy and science regarding the nature of space and gravity. So philosophical perspective. Philosophy seeks to understand the imperceptible, viewing space as a profound unknown linked to divine concepts. This is what philosophical perspective. Scientific perspective. Science investigates perceivable phenomena because they go with the empirical data, describing space as a vacuum and exploring gravity's empirical effects. Some recent research, they talk about vacuum also. It's not empty. It has particles, exotic particles or virtual particles. So there are a lot of improvements in the science perspective. Unified understanding. So combining philosophy and science can deepen the knowledge about space and gravity as transformative universal forces. By the way, this slide, the text, whatever content I am giving, it's not my content. It is from the book, which is The Gravity of Gravity. Everything I say or I discuss, which is from that book. So it is coming from Maharishi. So gravity as a primordial state. So before going to the magnetism, we need to understand gravity, right? So the space or the eternal space, the God. So gravity as a primordial state of. So gravity as a divine principle is viewed as a unbounded divine principle and the primordial state of the universe. So the philosophers and religious founders have quoted gravity with the concept of God. So they just put a name as a God, emphasizing its omnipotent, omniscience, and omnipresence. So this is what the philosophers and religious founders talked about gravity. Then this is imperceptible dark fluid. It is imperceptible, highly transparent, and thoroughly permeable, functioning as a dark fluid. Dark fluid matter, characterized by varying kinematic self-compression. So that is the nature of this dark fluid. So it is querying kinematic self-compressive. So self-compression, because of the self-compression, what happens? Self-compression within the gravity causes automatic repulsion and the formation of the quantized dust, which is the formative dust. Physical and metaphysical basis, what it says. The gravity forms the foundation of all physical and metaphysical phenomenon in the universe. So this is the base. This is the fundamental primordial state. What are these qualities of gravity? So the gravity possesses four invisible, inseparable, innate qualities. What are those? Planum, force, consciousness, and time. So when you say planam, which is the basic source, right? Planam symbolizes an inexhaustible origin of all forces within the gravity's essence. Planam represents the inexhaustible source of all forces, right? So the force, what is force? Force is the self-compressive nature of gravity. That is the nature of gravity. So the force describes gravity's self-compressive nature, and that binds all the matters and energy. Consciousness is the order of function in everything and everywhere, as Maharishi states. So consciousness represents in the inherent order and the functional structure in the universe gravity. What is time? So for time, he gives a very good, very beautiful definition. So time is conceived through infinitesimal intervals of kinematic querying. That the time means the difference or the time taken between two querying motions within the gravitational phenomena. So these qualities are fundamental to the transformation of gravity into all principles and all phenomena of the universe. So understanding this really attributes, it is essential for grasping the full scope of the gravity role in the cosmos. So this is very important to know. Okay. So now we will move to the transformation of gravity into the universe. So first we talk about the gravity. Now we will talk about the stages of transformation, which is magnetism and the universal function. So what are the stages of transformation? Gravity transforms into the, not like random process, it's a very systematic process. First into a formative dust, then into a infinitesimal energy particles, followed by the other Pancha Bhutas, and then the waves between them, that is the magnetic waves. So formation of energy particles, physical structures and elements, and then there is an astral field, which is called astral field. The same we call in our human bodies, we call as astral body. So that is the magnetic field or magnetic field of waves. The universe includes an astral field and magnetic waves created by energy particles dissolving into the space. Okay. Now let us look at the magnetism as the universal power and its effect on matter. Because we know always we conceive or we perceive the matter, which is the physical objects, right? So just I took an example of like how the magnetism works or how magnetic waves works. So you can look at this picture. So I just put a crystal and then gas, and there is a paramagnet and then ferromagnet, because there is a, normally when we say magnet we always refer to the magnet which we use in experiments or in school time, or some magnets in the speakers. So all are related to ferromagnets, right? But there are paramagnets, and then there is a magnetism in the gaseous stage also, because it is everywhere, right? So here you can see the weak and then strong force. What is happening? It is the repulsive forces. So the compressive force comes from the space, repulsive force comes from the particles, and then it creates a magnetism. So that magnetism is everywhere. When it is stronger, it gets a clear direction. You can see in the experiment, they just put the direction and then the strength will be more. When it is weak, still there is a magnetic wave, but the polarity will change, the direction of rotation will change. So that's what it is showing here. So magnetism as a universal power, magnetism shapes all the appearances and functions, acting as fundamental universal force. Magnetic formative dust. The universe consists of magnetic formative dust with spinning force influencing the matter at a distance. So every matter, so nothing is connected. Nothing, we are touching something using my finger. I am touching something, touching the screen, for example. I am not really touching, but I feel that energy, or I feel that sense. How? Because of the magnetism. So the magnetic wave connection or wave interaction between the screen and my fingers, both contains the particles. So that particle emits the magnetic waves. Because of that, I am getting the sense. So it influences everything, and then it keeps at the distance based on the rotative. In coming slides, we will see that. So interplay of forces. Spinning magnetic forces repel dust while gravity compresses it. Because there are two, again, one is the compressive nature of the space, the other one is the repulsive nature of the particles spinning because of the spinning. So this creating a unified system. This is like a system. It's not like randomness. It is a system which creates and consists of the compression and the repulsion. Environmental influences on motion. All movements and functions adjust according to the surrounding environmental condition. So in addition to this unified system, the environmental influence also happens. So there is a motion, there are other particles, other environmental conditions, all affects the play of the magnetism. Now let us see the origin and role of magnetism in the universal transformation. So as we discussed before, primordial gravity and formative dust, that is the first step. So the gravity compresses itself, producing infinitesimal spinning dust. So that is the first self-surrounding compressive nature which producing the infinitesimal spinning dust. So that is the fundamental. So then it goes beyond the other fundamental elements. So origin of the universal magnetism. Spinning dust particle magnetized by the gravity creates the omnipresent universal magnetic field in all matter. Association of dust particle become infinitesimal energy particles, that as we know, all know. And its spinning also emits the magnetic waves. Transformation into 5 tanmatras. What happens the next step? Transformation into 5 tanmatras, which are the pressure, sound, light, taste, smell, and in the living beings, the highest level of the sensation, which is the mind. So the combination or association of the dust particle becomes infinitesimal energy particle, and that gives the way for the emerging all matters, all elements. Then there is a tanmatras, which is the cause of magnetic energy, which transforms, which interacts with the surrounding particles, adjacent particles, and then creates pressure, sound, light, taste, smell based on the environmental conditions. Cycle of energy and gravity. So emitted dust quanta exhaust magnetic energy and dissolves back into gravity. When you take the formative dust, what happens? It exhausts magnetic energy. How it exhausts? Because of the rotational, the spinning speed, it creates a repulsive energy, and then it once the rotation is reduced, it automatically it will become into the gravity, completing the energy cycle. So this is a cycle. This cycle happens everywhere, in every level, in every scale. Only thing is when the infinitesimal energy particle and then so on to create the fundamental elements, the exhaust of that energy will take some time. But when it is dust, the first fundamental particle dust or the formative dust, it gives out the magnetic energy, and then it dissolves it into the gravity. Because of that only, the entire universe is filled with the fluid nature of the magnetic waves. Okay. Now let us move to the cosmology and the planetary dynamics. So the planetary waves and the repulsion, and what is the connection between the human to cosmology. Cosmic order, meaning the cosmos within its innumerable stars and galaxies operates with precision and regularity. That is the first point we discussed earlier also. So it runs or it operates with the precision and regularity. So that we can show everywhere in the cosmos. Each celestial body has a specific weight, spinning speed, orbit, maintained without irregularities. So that means everything in order, right? So what is the role of gravity in consciousness? So now we are just touching upon the consciousness part. So this order, guided by the consciousness of gravity, which ensures the harmonious functioning of the universe. So the harmonious functioning of the universe is because of the consciousness of the gravity. Okay, so that is very important point to note. So universal integration by consciousness. What does it mean? The universal consciousness integrates and regulates cosmic activities, reflecting a divine universal order. So that is where the entire universe or the entire celestial bodies operates based on this integration. Planetary waves and repulsion. So the planetary waves and repulsion, each planet emits waves by its atomic composition. So I'm going one step beyond. When we take a planet, any planet or any object in the cosmos, it also rotates because it contains the infinitesimal energy particles. So the totality of that waves that also emits, so creating the repulsive force that prevents collision in the space. Because of that only, each and every object without collision rotating or moving in a like a precision path. Orbital stability also, because of that only, repulsive wave forces maintain the stable distance between the celestial bodies, ensuring orbits without collision. Okay, because maybe somebody will think, okay, but we are seeing some clashes, right? Some bursts out, but still, if you go to the smaller scale of that bursting out or the explosions, still the universal law is applied. It is because of the repulsive nature of individual particles. What influence it has in the life? The planetary waves affects the biological process on Earth. That everybody knows, and we would have read somewhere. So all the planetary waves emitted from any planet or stars, that is impacting the biological process of on Earth. Today, just before this meeting, one of our team member from Arivial Arangam has shared one research. I want to highlight that. So they found the cosmic rays are the reason for the life forms, not only in Earth, in other celestial bodies under the surfaces. It's not on the surfaces, under the surfaces. There are some research results came out. So the planetary waves affects biological process on the Earth, highlighting the link between cosmology and life. Human connection to cosmology. So here we are coming to the Earth. it does. Humans are, it itself floats and orbits in the space, right? So it is also floating in the space within the solar system, and then it is floating. This perspective redefines our existence as a being aboard a massive spaceship. So it's a kind of a spaceship. This Maharishi states. This is kind of imagine like a spaceship, emphasizing our connection to the cosmos. So we are not separated from the cosmos. We are part of the cosmos. Appreciation of cosmos forces. So recognizing our cosmic connection fosters deeper appreciation for the forces shaping human life and existence. So this evolutionary process is driven by biomagnetic interactions and environmental interactions, illustrating the dynamic nature of life as a manifestation of the gravity. So what he says, so when we look at the life forms, it is the manifestation, again, it manifestation of the gravity and the magnetism. So in living beings and their evolution, so living beings, as we know, I will not go into the deep, just to highlight. So in living beings, we know what is happening. So the universal magnetism, when it confined to a limited area or limited structure, like a cell structure, it creates as a, it emits as a magnetism, which is called biomagnetism. So origin and development of life. So again, it's a transformation of gravity. So life begins with gravity transforming into energy particles and elements and emitting waves that develop the feeling. So where we get the feeling, it is because of, it is the work of the nature, work of the gravity, because of the waves caused by the magnetism that develops the feeling. Evolutionary progression. Evolution advances from one celled organism through bacteria, insects, birds, and animals, and to the humans. But the feeling started from the first one celled bacteria, or one celled, or even below the microbes, as the feeling at its level. So biomagnetic and environmental influence. Biomagnetic interactions and the environmental drive the dynamic process of life, development, and evolution. So that is what the key for the evolution of the entire organisms within the earth, or maybe outside the other planetary systems. Okay, so now we need to talk about some philosophical things, which is the human nature and ethical evolution. Yes, we scientifically we talk about how we evolve into human, how other species are evolved, all this. But the special thing which we got is the mind with you and the consciousness. With use of that, what we need to do. So inherent human traits, human inherent primal traits like violence, but have the capacity for ethical growth and virtuous living. So because by nature, we got everything, all our Sanjita karmas come from the beginning of the life forms, right? So we have all these traits, but we have the capacity for the ethical growth and virtual living because of the higher sense, the mind and consciousness. The role of enlightenment in individuals. So enlightened people promote non-violence and compassion to build systems that uplift humanity. So that's why we are trying to get enlightened by our spiritual leaders and then gurus like Maharishis. So importance of the education and unity. Education here is not about the school or college education. Here the education about the consciousness or the awareness about the entire universe and about the So education and global unity, peaceful societies. So vision of global peace. This is also Vethathiri Maharishi's quote. The goal is a world with a single constitution that fosters freedom and harmony for all. Now we will go to the important subject, which is the conscientious consciousness. That means in Tamil it is Perarivana Perarivu. The nature, roles of consciousness, manifestations in life and cosmos. So when we say the basic thing is the pattern, precision, regularity. That is very basic, fundamental, right? So what happens in the plant growth? So I'm just mentioning this because everything again linked to the magnetism and the gravity. The plants grow in precise sequence from the seed to sprout, stem, branches, leaves, fruits, reflecting natural order. So that comes, so the consciousness, the natural order. Faithful reproduction. So leaves, fruits replicate the shape and chemical qualities of the mother plant with remarkable precision. That when you look at the precision of those activities, we will understand the enormity or the capacity of the nature. Consciousness in nature. The regularity and the pattern in growth processes suggest an underlying presence and the role of consciousness in nature. In nature, everything, everywhere, order of function, consciousness works there. Whether it's a living being or it's non-living being, there is a consciousness which drives everything. Nature and role of consciousness. As we talked about consciousness, just we try to understand consciousness and gravity, consciousness in living being, and how the universal regulation happens. So consciousness is an inherent quality of gravity that brings order, precision, and patterns in all natural functions. This we need to, so that means it starts from the gravity. The consciousness of the universe starts from the gravity. So it's an intrinsic quality of gravity. Okay. And then consciousness in living being, how it works. So it manifests as feeling, as awareness, and psychic functions in all living beings, regulating life processes. Anything within the living beings act, and the reflections and the feelings, awareness, everything regulated clearly, precisely by the consciousness. Universal regulation. He called, Maharishi calls this as universal regulation. Consciousness act as a divine regulator, ensuring actions yields fitting results and harmony. So every action, there is a reaction. செயல் விளைவு தத்துவம். So that is coming from the universal regulation, which is by the consciousness, which acts as a divine regulator. Manifestations in life and cosmos. So biological growth and development, we know, and how the consciousness guides the plant growth, embryo development, and tissue formation, and precise biological coordination. Everything happens with the consciousness. Mental and cognitive functions. Again, it reflects the consciousness, managing complex brain activities and cognitive processes in life being. Cosmic order and gravity. Consciousness governs the movements of stars, galaxies, maintaining cosmic order and specific gravity balance. So this word is very important. He used many places, specific gravity balance. It is the equilibrium of the cosmos. So everywhere it maintains the specific gravity. For example, if you take the earth, everything in order with the specific gravity. For example, lighter things in the top, are in the surface of the earth like gases, and then based on the density it goes down. So the solid ones or the heavier ones goes to the core of the earth. So that how it makes, and it is not only in earth, in even in the space, outer space, the specific gravity is maintained. Okay, now we go to the magnetic circulation. So now we come to the life forms. So in the life forms, the magnetic circulation, where it begins and how it works. So the magnetic circulation principle is the waves with circulation effect intensify at the center due to the space's compressive force. Again, the same concept, the centripetal force, centrifugal force. Centripetal is attracting inside, centrifugal is fleeing outside. Okay, so waves with the circulation effect, that means it is rotating, circular motion, intensify at the center due to the space compressive force and creating centripetal energy. Okay, then genetic center and feeling. So the genetic center intensifies magnetic circulation. So I am talking about the biomagnetism here. So when we talk about biomagnetism, so the center point is the genetic center for the astral body, right? So the genetic center intensifies magnetic circulation in the living beings, generating feelings of pain, pleasure, or peace. Anything, all the senses, all the feelings is regulated or generated because of this. Okay, so that means the intensified magnetic waves will be always in the center or near to the center, genetic center. The emanation of that or the dispersion goes across the entire body. Life evolved from single-celled organism to bacteria and then diverse insects through mutation over time. Why I mentioned here? Because the evolution, throughout the evolution, this genetic center is playing a vital role because it captures all the information through in the form of magnetic waves and passes this to the next generations. Okay. Examples of conscientious consciousness in nature. Just some practical example: water density and survival. Right. So here in the water, it is really a unique, wonderful fluid compared to any other fluid or any other material. This has a unique sense. Water uniquely increases density as it cools until 1 degree Celsius and then decreases density to protect aquatic life beneath ice. Because when it becomes ice, we will get into ice age. But in the top of the sea or top of the lake or pond, it becomes ice. But inside the ice or inside the pond, inside the sea, the living beings are untouched. It is not disturbed because of this nature. To a certain limit, it goes. After that, it again expands. So that gives, so this is the example of consciousness. Specific gravity in nature. As I mentioned before, so the specific gravity orders elements on Earth, keeping lighter metals near the surface and heavier metals deeper the underground. In human body, biomagnetism works in the same way. The biomagnetism, the wave settles centrally and then distribute through the body and the senses, and it balances in a balanced order. So these are the some examples of conscientious consciousness. I just gave one picture. This is a drop of water from ocean, and you can see this is 25 times maximized microscopic view. See, you can see how many living beings are there. So if you take a one drop of water and then maximizes, zoom it 25 times more, and you can see There are a lot of things. Even living being, kind of living being like planktons. They say planktons, right? So those kind of things are living there. That's why the water is the elixir of life. Okay. So we are coming to the end of the presentation. So humanity has the responsibility to study and understand all the faculties of consciousness and the magnetism. Live harmoniously and compatibly. This is the wording from Maharishi. So understanding the gravity and its manifestations through magnetism helps individuals to live harmoniously and compatibly in society. Achieving peace and enlightenment. Conscious awareness is essential for achieving peace, enlightenment, and balance of existence. That is very important. Path to fulfillment. So realizing conscientious consciousness leads to a prosperous and fulfilling life. Yes. Hope I try to cover, if not all, try to cover something related to biomagnetism and the gravity and the order of function in everything, everywhere in the universe. And Guru Valga, Guruve Tunai. Thank you so much for listening to me patiently. Be blessed by the divine. Valga Valamudan.
வாழ்க வளமுடன் ஐயா.
Valga Valamudan.
It's a thought-provoking session. On behalf of everyone, a big thank you to Aya for such a clear, thoughtful, and inspiring session. Aya took us on a profound journey into the philosophy of universal magnetism, explained the origin and role of magnetism. He beautifully explained how primordial gravity and formative dust gave rise to the universe, transforming into 5 elements of tanmatras and forming the foundation of life and matter. He shared insights on the cycle of energy and gravity, the emission of planetary waves, and how orbital stability influences life on Earth. We understood that humanity is not separate from the cosmos. Rather, we are one among the cosmic force that guide and sustain life. Talk also shed a light on the origin and development of life, the evolutionary progression of gravity, and how this connects to human nature and ethical evolution. And Aya emphasized the role on inherited human traits, enlightening individuals, and the importance of education and unity in shaping a vision of global peace. Also, he reminded us to appreciate the precision, regularity, and consciousness found in nature, in the growth of plants, in the patterns of the universe, and in the harmony that links all beings together. Truly, this session has given us the deep sense of connection with the cosmos and inspired us to live with awareness, responsibility, and peace. Once again, thank you, Aya, for your time, your knowledge, and your humble presence. We have learned so much today. And a question and answer session. If you have any question, you can unmute and you can post your question. Aya, Premanandam Aya, you can post your questions.
Tyagarajanaya, can you, yeah, is it audible?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
Aya.
Aya, we can hear you.
Okay. Tyagarajanaya, thanks for your excellent informations and presentations, for detailed informations. I am really appreciate your hard work on it. I have some a quick question on it. Can I have?
Yes, Aya.
Yes.
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay, you explained the sun and some energy particles, which is comparison with the natural sun and then the artificial sun. I have one quick question on it. There is some upper quark on that. The science told in the upper quark doesn't have any particle, but the sun has some positron on that, which is come from the upper quark. It's annihilate with the electron and produce the photon, which is spread the overall lighting to the overall solar systems. So where is the electron, where is the positron come from the sun? Any clarification on that, on the energy particles? If you have, please explain, otherwise going to research on that, sir. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, actually, what I presented, I did not compare the sun portion. I was comparing how the fusion happens in the cosmos, and then the fusion reactors, how they are doing, to compare and understand how enormous it is. So it is incomparable, right? So to explain to understand the mightiness of the space, what is happening, the nature and the cosmos, and then what little we know and how little we are doing when we are experimenting with the fusion. So I am not talking about anything at the quark level or how it is getting emitted. So I did not get into that physics. I just explained how difference, to make like a simple difference, like how enormous it is compared to our reactors, our fusion reactors. So if you are talking about
Yes, sir.
the individual quark and then the process of how the quark works, and then how the electrons and positron goes, so that we need to have a separate session, because here I just put that picture of proton to make the the participants understand the proton is not like one ball of thing. It has multiple things inside in it. And then also the quarks make only the tiny portion of the mass of the proton. The remaining portion is full of other energies like gluonic force and other charges and all. So like that, it's a very high level I explained. So your question is a little bit deeper. We can discuss, maybe I will prepare for that and then discuss. We can discuss it. Thank you.
Thanks for the answer, sir. Very useful for me. Okay, going to research on that is better. Go through, sir. Thank you. Thanks.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Mr. Ganesh Ayya.
ஐயா வாழ்க வளமுடன்.
ஐயா வாழ்க வளமுடன்.
ஐயா ஆக்சுவலா நம்ம மகரிஷி சொன்னது வந்து எலக்ட்ரான், புரோட்டான், நியூட்ரான், புரோட்டான், அந்த மூணுக்குமே அந்த என்ன சொல்றது, அந்த ஸ்பின்னிங் ஸ்பீட் இஸ் actually coming down. So at the time, proton, when it reaches the proton level, almost your speed will come down, and that is only becoming a dark matter or dark energy. When that is the case, you are seeing that a cross section of proton was seen and a lot of things are inside. So ideally it should be only a space, no? If as per Maharishi, because of the speed is coming down, the speed is only making identifying as electron, proton, neutron and proton.
Okay.
So
yeah,
finally that
thank
is
you
only becoming a yes sir. Your
okay,
light
okay.
in
I understood.
please throw some light.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's simple
okay.
explanation by Maharishi actually. I'm not going in in a very scientific way, because we have to take in that aspect only so that everybody will understand. It will be easy. So much technical terms also will not give our what is called the understanding of the common people. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. No. It's a very good question. I expected that question also. So,
Okay.
see, actually, Vethathiri Maharishi in his book very clearly stated, I am not a scientist, nor I have studied the philosophy under any eminent scholar. My eagerness and perseverance in the realization of the truth made it possible for me to know some hidden facts about the nature by intuition. Why I quoted this?
Exactly.
Because to make anybody, because he's Pamara Makkalin Jnani, right?
Tattva
So
Jnani. Yeah.
he wants to give the people to understand how it works. So that's why he told, okay, first electron, because its spinning speed is very
Spinning
high,
speed.
and then it becomes lesser it goes, it becomes proton, and lesser it
Neutron.
goes, it becomes neutron, and then once its speeds completely stopped, that means it will become the
Proton.
eternal space.
Exactly.
No, it will become eternal space. The order is
Yes,
electron,
correct.
proton, and then neutron, and then the black hole.
Yes.
Okay, so this
Yes,
is
yes.
how what he teaches us. Okay,
Exactly.
but the same thing, we are not deviating anything from there. So he's saying how the steps going on, like neutron, sorry, the electron, and then proton, neutron, and then black hole. So in the same way, we need to see the combination, like so he's talking about infinitesimal energy particle becomes electron, correct?
No, even infinitesimal electrical particle itself is electron only. Win. That is
Yeah.
win actually.
So yeah. So
Hmm.
that's where the science goes beyond that, because there is a fundamental dust particle. Association of dust particle becomes a win, which is the
Exactly.
Akash particle,
Then
right?
Panjabhutanga.
And then because of the speed difference, it shows as a electron, and then because of the spinning speed, it becomes different
Exactly.
products, right?
Forms. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. So in the what I shown in the proton, which consists of 3 major quarks, okay, 2 up and 1 down, and it is not only that 2, because those are perceivable or observable, but beyond that there are small particles which gives the mass for the proton, because when they scientifically calculate with the masses of these 3 quarks, it is not matching with the mass of the proton. It is huge difference.
Exactly.
Then they found out, okay, there is a gluonic force. There is a gluons which is the energy source, or which is like a glue, which is connecting all the quarks and becomes a proton. So to explain that one proton has so many particles in it, to explain that I just put that picture.
Okay.
And mathematically when they calculated the mass which takes these 3 quarks takes is very tiny or minimum compared to the mass of the proton. Then they were searching how it comes. There is only space, but how that energy comes, from where that energy or mass energy comes. Then they found out it is not only the 3 quarks, but there are a lot of exotic particles, and then gluonic force act on it, which gives the mass to the, with that energy fields, gives the mass to the overall proton. So that is what I was trying to say.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Aya. Thank you for the question.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you. Welcome.
Oh, yeah.
Prem, you want to speak? Yeah, Mr. Prem, you can go ahead.
Thanks, Tyagi sir. Again, Prem.
Yes,
Can
Aya.
you elaborate? What is the purpose of enlightenment being? Can you elaborate the details? Why we need the enlightenment? Why are the human going to be enlightened? What is the purpose of the enlightenment?
Purpose of is the harmonious life, right? So that is the purpose of revelation. Why we need to get the enlightenment? Because we need to understand the consciousness. We can understand the consciousness by some spiritual masters. We have our guru, Maharishi. So he teaches us, he enlightens us, but that is not enough, right? So the purpose is to go the revelation of the truth by yourself. So in personal experience of truth, by revelation of what is happening in the world and around us, that is what the final truth, right? So that's why enlightenment is given by any gurus, but the revelation of truth is always by ourselves. So that is the purpose.
So the enlightenment is must for every human being, for the whole country or
Enlightenment
whole
is
world.
must. Yeah. That is for the harmonious life. Say, for example, I am not revelated my truth. Still, I am in the process, right? But I can get the enlightenment from any gurus like Maharishi. I get the enlightenment, and then once I enlightened, then I go and search for my inner truth or inner self, and then find the truth. So that is the path of life, or path of anybody's life should be for the harmonious. Ultimately, what we are saying, world peace is the ultimate aim, and how to get that harmonious life between all the nature and then life forms and within the human, right? So enlightenment is really important for anyone in the world, living being, to find the truth. That is my understanding. Yeah, maybe if it's something wrong, you can correct me.
Yeah, you are correct, sir. You are excellent informations. That's why the Maharishi, once he got the enlightened and he formed the society, he formed the World Peace Society. So if 600 peoples must enlighten, then only world peace going to happen. Without enlightenment, cannot be the harmony. That's why Maharishi insists so many meditations, very simple, humble, and detailed meditations, which is leads to the enlightened. Once get the people's enlightened, then only the harmony. So every single person has a peace. There is the enlightened leads to the family and family peace. Then the society enlightened, then the society going to peace. If the world people's doing enlightened, then only the world is peace to happen. That's why the highest aim in the universe. Maharishi is the highest aim maker. He is the aim must be the world peace. Should be every people must be the enlightened. That's why he formed the society which leads the society to lead the enlightened peoples. Thanks for detailed information, sir.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes. Yeah. That is the actually. That's why he's saying it is the responsibility of the humanity. He's not telling a country or a.
Your voice is
He's
breaking,
saying
sir.
this is the responsibility of the consciousness.
Sir, your voice breaking, sir.
You
Come again.
hear me? Yeah. So the Maharishi's statement is, it is the responsibility of humanity to understand all the faculties of the consciousness. Why? Because to achieve the harmonious life and compatibility. That is ஒத்து வாழ்தல், ஒத்து உறவாடுதல், something like that.
Yes, you are correct, sir.
Ushama
Yes,
has raised a hand.
Vaishavalambadan, be blessed by the divine. That's an excellent presentation, Thiago sir. Especially the conscientious consciousness. That is wonderful. My question is, how does science explain universal magnetism? Is it there? Some theories are there, like diamagnetism, etc. How does science explain universal magnetism?
Okay, thank you, Amma. So we actually in Maharishi's teaching, we talk about universal magnetism. But in the science community or science researchers, they agree, okay, there are two types of forces. So there is a magnetic force, they call electromagnetic force, right? But now in recent researchers, they call, okay, there is any attraction or any repulsion between two masses, matters, okay, or the masses of matter, is attractive nature. The another nature for the space is repulsive. So this is what they decide or they come to a conclusion. That means the Maharishi is teaching also, when you talk about only leave the universe, you take the example of universe. Other than the static nature is the static state is eternal space. Once the universe is formed, all repulsive nature because of the particles spinning. So the science also agrees to that point. So they are saying if there is no masses, then it is containing only repulsive.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So in that way, they are coming to the point with like coinciding with Vedatrium concept.
Okay. Yeah, I think that should be the explanation.
Yes.
However, infinitesimal the energy particles or the formative dust is, at present we can't explain that through mass or the formulae for mass and all that. Okay.
Yes. But
Yeah.
at least
Okay.
the science agrees there is a repulsive force.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much.
And
Thank you.
and they, because it is based on the calculation, like they are calculating the space energy between two masses. There is a missing thing because they are calculating only with the repulsive nature of this one mass. Like for example, take example of sun and earth. So they calculate, it comes okay, fine. But when they go and apply the formula in the space emptiness, it is not matching. Why? Because there is a maripurul, right? So that is the nature. So it cannot be treated as a vacuum. There are particles, there are energy, there are virtual particles lying there, floating there. So they are also agreeing to the fluidic nature of the entire universe.
Okay.
Only thing is, science agrees when it becomes a law, when it is empirically approved or empirically proved. Until then, it will be a theory.
Okay. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for
Thank
the
you so
question.
much. Thank you.
Valga Valamudan sir, Manisha this side. Can I ask a question if we have time?
Yes, Amma.
Yes.
Valga Valamudan. It was really nice presentation, sir. It was like consolidated all the elements and eventually culminated with the philosophical understanding, the highest understanding, as ma'am also mentioned, consciousness, which is basically this is how we have to live as well. My question is very basic. It could be wrong also, but I would like to I had this question for quite some time, but I would like to ask here to this forum also. So the infinitesimal energy particle is supposed to be the fastest particle, sir. Am I right? Which is equivalent to what Maharishi said as electron. So it is supposed to be with the fastest speed, and then gradually the speed reduces, and then Maharishi correlates that to proton and then neutron and then to absolute space. So if I just look at the infinitesimal energy particle, it is the fastest. But that fastest speed is also reached from some initial velocity which is zero or slower, right? It is the acceleration which leads to a fastest speed. The particle wouldn't have become fast just like that. It would have definitely accelerated, is what I intuitively understand from the formative dust. So, hello.
Yes, Amma. Yes.
Yes. So my question is, first of all, is that a right understanding that a thing would have become faster by gradually increasing the speed? If yes, that means the particles were initially with really slow velocity, as like from the space they were like fragmented or became formative dust, And then as they gradually increased their speed, they were like in a solid kind of a state with gradually separating and the velocity gradually increasing, and hence the repulsion increasing, and hence the interparticular distance increasing, eventually creating an infinitesimal energy particle. And then through the compressive surrounding pressure force, those particles they started coming together again in a cyclic process to make further elements from Akash to Vayu to Jal, like that, and then eventually solid. So this is what my thought process is, sir. I don't know if it is right, but if you can shed some light onto it. Thank you, Valgavalam.
Okay. Thank you. Very interesting question. But this is really a good question. Thank you for that. So, infinitesimal energy particle is the Akash particle, right? Before that, there is a formative dust. So, Maharishi says it is the magnetized quanta. That means what it means. Normally, if you
You can't hear you, yeah?
Can't hear you, sir.
You can't hear you.
Might be some technical issues.
Yeah. He'll come back now.
Kindly wait, ma'am.
and try to magnetize and pass some
Teranya,
electricity.
we can repeat
Hello?
it.
Can you
We
hear me
missed
now?
you.
Hello?
Now we can hear you. Now we can hear you.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Now we can
Now,
hear you.
We can
Okay.
hear you, sir. Can you
hear
please
you.
repeat? We missed you for last.
Yeah, I'm repeating. I'm repeating. I
Yes, sir.
started from
Yes.
the beginning.
Thank you.
So assume you take a bar of iron or any metal and then try to wound with some wire, and then you pass electricity. It will become magnetism. It will become magnet. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Can
Yes,
you
sir.
hear me?
It will become.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. It will become. Yeah.
Just I am taking that example. Okay. And
Yes,
then I
sir.
will go to the explanation. Okay. So it will
Okay.
become a magnetic. So
Hmm.
that means, is it moving or is it rotating? No. It is stable, but still it got magnetized. So similarly, when the formative dust, due to the compression surrounding pressure force, it starts the first formative dust. That formative dust again compressed, pressurized by the eternal space, which becomes magnetized, meaning there is a vibration or there is a wave function starts swirling the quanta, that particular quanta. The association of those whirling waves, combination of those waves become infinitesimal energy particle. Okay. Now, why that the formative dust is not directly going to become electron? Because this has a smaller life compared to the wind or the akash. Why? Because it starts, because of the compression, it gets diluted again. This is a Maharishi statement in this book. So because of the compressive nature, the formative dust, if only one formative dust is there, it will rotate, and then it gets slow down, and then it will get diluted, but emitting the magnetic feature, that magnetic energy into the space, and then it will get dissolved. This is fundamental dust particle. But this is very high speed compared to the infinitesimal energy particle. Okay. But its lifetime is less. Then it starts getting, because of the rotation, it will start rotating the other part which is rotating slowly. It will become an orbit. Like that, one by one, it gets accumulated. That association of those dust particle become wind or akash particle. The combined effort of that rotation is infinitesimal, because once it becomes the unit as a basic unit, which is wind or akash particle, then we are calculating that speed only. That is the highest speed. compared to the electron or any other elements coming into the existence. But the first one, which gets formed into a win or infinitesimal energy particle, is the fundamental unit of building block that has the highest speed. As you mentioned, it is correct. Your understanding is correct. But before that, how it started? Because of the formation of or association of those formative dusts in different speeds. Those will have different speeds, right? It starts because of the pressure, it will get diluted. It starts because of another rotation, it goes and rotate the other particle. Like that, one by one, it starts collectively become the Akash particle. This is my understanding based on my readings, based on my physics knowledge. This is what my understanding. It could be wrong, right? So just I'm just telling my understanding. If anybody in the forum, if they have a different opinion or different possibilities, they can explain. But this possibility convincing for me. That's why I'm telling.
Sir, it made sense. So I'll go through and think about it. And thank you so much for your
Yeah.
explanation.
No, I will
sir.
also think about it. Yeah, I will also think about it. This is a very good question for everybody. And
Okay, sir.
we can explore. Yes, we can explore and think about it. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All government.
For development.
Any other question from anybody else? Okay, we have just again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Good, yeah. Thank you.
That was a truly thoughtful and great questions were asked. And our speaker has given a clear and enlightening answer. Thank you, Aya.
Thank you.
Let us all remain in the state of Duriyam and offer our blessings. May Tyagarajan Muthu Aya health flourish with abundance, be blessed by the divine. May his family be blessed by the divine. May his professional life be blessed by the divine. And may his spiritual service be blessed by the divine. WCC Research and Development and Digital Solution Team be blessed by the divine. May their happy family life be blessed by the divine. Success in their work be blessed by the divine. And continued dedication in spiritual service be blessed by the divine. To all the participants joined through this Zoom session, we extend our blessings for good health, be blessed by the divine. Family well-being, be blessed by the divine. Professional success, be blessed by the divine. And spiritual journey, be blessed by the divine. Before we conclude, I would like to extend our heartfelt thanks to everyone who made the session meaningful and successful. A special thanks to Incredible Backward Support, who have worked behind the scene to make the session seamless and successful. Together, you all helped create a space that is both intellectually enriching and deeply inspiring. Thank you all. Ulaganala Valthu.
You can sing, Ashramidi. Yeah,
Thank you. உலகமெல்லாம் பருவமழை ஒத்தபடி பெய்யட்டும், உழவரெல்லாம் தானியத்தை உவப்புடனே பெருக்கட்டும், பல தொழில்கள் புரிகின்ற பாட்டாளி உயரட்டும், பகுத்துணர்வில் தொகுத்துணர்வு பண்பாட்டை உயர்த்தட்டும், கழகங்கள் போட்டி பகை கடந்தாட்சி நடக்கட்டும், கல்லாமை கடன் வறுமை கலங்கங்கள் மறையட்டும், நலவாழ்வை அளிக்கும் மெய்ஞான ஒளி வீசட்டும், நம் கடமை அறவாழ்வின் நாட்டத்தே சிறக்கட்டும், நம் கடமை அறவாழ்வின் நாட்டத்தே சிறக்கட்டும். வாழ்க வையகம், வாழ்க வையகம், வாழ்க வளமுடன். அமைதி, அமைதி, அமைதி. வாழ்க வையகம், வாழ்க வளமுடன். நன்றி.
Thank you, Ramiji. Thank you, Aya. Manikoshan Aya, thank you so much. Thank you, Thiarajan Aya. Thanks everybody else. Thank you so much. வாழ்க வளமுடன்.
வாழ்க வளமுடன். வாழ்க வளமுடன்.
நன்றி ஐயா.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. வாழ்க வளமுடன், ma'am.
Thank you, Aya. Thank you, Janakiran Aya.
நன்றி, நன்றி, நன்றி. வாழ்க வளமுடன். Bye bye.